Hello everyone. I wanted to do another RFID update. I like to bring these to you quite frequently to keep us refreshed in our memory of all these things that are taking place so rapidly at the end of the age, which we are in. But I wanted to bring you another update as news comes out progressively each week or each month concerning the RFID technology and how I believe this is going to play a huge role, if not the role, in the mark of the beast. I wanted to read you a couple of articles that I found this morning that were very, very revealing. Let me see here. Let me start off with, this is called Sci-Tech or High-Tech RFID Chips, a key to more or less freedom, it says. And we know that some people in these last days are going to give up their freedoms for security and convenience. So this is pretty much what this article is tackling. It says here, losing his keys is no longer a concern for Sandro Portner. All he needs to do to open his front door is swipe his hand in front of this chip reader. So he's swiping his hand. Opening doors or switching on your smartphone. These are just some of the uses for these chips, and the range of new applications is growing. Is this technology really useful? For Swiss anthropologist Daniela Serki, it's all about today's luxury, get this, becoming tomorrow's necessity, it says. It's all about today's luxury, in other words, it's an option if you want to use it, becoming tomorrow's necessity. He causes all, those small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, Revelation 13. So this may be a necessity, they're saying, in the future. A necessity for buying and selling. The notion of usefulness is something that evolves, she says. We are in a consumer society where the stakes are always higher. Yeah, now they're mentioning consumer, which is buying. Today, some things seem useless or even ridiculous, but tomorrow or the day after, they will seem essential. Because we will have to get used to the fact that they are technically possible. In one office in the Swedish capital of Stockholm, RFID chips allow wearers to open doors, swap contact details, or use the photocopier, all with a wave of a hand. Developers want to explore what possibilities this chip offers and see how products and services can be developed around this technology. Here, you can open doors using your chip. You can do secure printing from our printers with the chip, but you can also communicate with your mobile phone by sending your business card to individuals that you meet, explains Patrick Masterson, co-founder and CEO of Epicenter Office. But what's interesting in this one particular article here is it's talking about the consumer and society and how today's luxury may become tomorrow's necessity. And what seems useless or ridiculous today, by tomorrow, may seem essential. And when the word tells us in Revelation 13 that he causes all in order to buy and sell to receive this mark in their right hand or forehead, he's going to cause the economy to go to the point where in order to go to the store and buy groceries or put gas in your car or show up at work, if you want to be part of this world system eventually and function in society, he's going to cause the situation or the circumstance to go the route that you will have to take it if you want to participate in society. So in essence, it will become a necessity, even though he's causing. It doesn't say he's forcing, he's causing society to go this way, so that if you want to participate, you'll have to receive this. I'm warning those of you who are considering doing this. Revelation chapter 13 in the Christian scriptures warns us what happens to those who take this mark of the beast. They will be tormented forever in the lake of fire with the Antichrist and the devil and his angels. This do not have anything to do with it. Do not take it. I'm here to warn you. Do not take it. If it means you have to live off the land, if it means you have to pray daily that God feeds you and meets your needs, then that's what you should be doing. Because believe me, the enemy will tempt people with hunger. When you've gone a few days or a few weeks without food because you haven't taken this mark, the temptation will be great to give in under the pressure and receive this mark in your right hand or forehead so you can go to the store. Remember, we are not to save our lives in this world, Jesus said. He will provide for our needs during that time. The Lord doesn't need a grocery store to feed us. He'll provide for your needs. You need to trust Him and not an RFID microchip. This article comes from the Australian. It says, implants to aid payment with the wave of a hand. Is it retail therapy gone mad? And here they have a picture of what looks like a Borg from Star Trek. But it says, implant to aid in the payment with the wave of a hand. Interesting. Couldn't possibly be the right hand, could it? It says here, a subcutaneous chip would let consumers pay at a retail terminal without a wallet, credit card, smartphone, or smartwatch. They would simply wave their bare hand over the terminal. And I want to show you this up close so you know I'm not making this up. But do you see where it says here? They'll simply wave their hand. You won't need a wallet, a credit card, a smartphone, a smart wallet. You simply wave your hand over the terminal. There's coming a time in your local grocery store where all you will have to do is have them put the scanner up here and scan you, or you take your hand and wave it over a terminal or a reader, and you paid for your groceries. I'm here to warn you, don't do it. Don't do it at all costs. Do not do it. It is not worth your eternity. It's not. And on the back of this article, it says here, which I consider interesting because John tells us that that the number of the beast is important, or the number of his name being received. It says in the article, their chip consisted of a tiny antenna and an identification number. It was designed to be implanted in the soft tissue between the thumb and the index finger, like right here, between the thumb and the index finger, so right here, and detected by radio frequency identification scanner. But notice it says here that it has an individual identification number. And it says anyone who receives the number of his name has also been marked. So all of this is, John saw all of this when the Lord showed him these things almost 2,000 years ago. But again, implants to aid payment with the wave of a hand. And this is from the Australian. Everything's coming together very quickly. Finally, it says here, man embeds chip in his hand and hacks phones with it. And let me see here. This is from Discovery News. Man embeds chip in his hand. It's interesting. It looks like the right hand, the way he's holding his finger up like this, like he's getting ready to do something with his right hand. The article says here, a former petty officer in the U.S. Navy and now an engineer at APA Wireless is testing the limits of cybersecurity by using a chip embedded in his hand. It's just incredible as I see everything coming to pass exactly as the Lord showed John. I mean, but you'll still have naysayers that'll say, oh, we're not in the last days, or everything's already been fulfilled in the past, or, everything is happening now. It's happening now, right before our eyes. Could a brain implant cure depression, it says. So there's a link in this article that I didn't click on yet, but it says here, could a brain implant cure depression? Could that be the implant that goes in the forehead? So now they're going to make it marketable not only for convenience for buying and selling, but what if you could take an implant that would cure your anxiety or your depression? See how the enemy appeals to the flesh this way? To make your life easier, all you have to do is take this implant. It says here, an implanted RFID chip which holds small amounts of data and can communicate with devices nearby, and he put it in his hand. Since the chip includes a near-field communication or an NFC antenna, it generates a radio frequency that can communicate with other devices that are NFC-enabled, such as cell phones. And then it goes on to say here, it says, chip implanted in man's hand for a year-long experiment. So all of these things are becoming more and more acceptable. I'd say about 8 or 9 years ago, there was a news story out where, I think it was Peter Jennings, if I'm wrong, correct me, where he said by 2017, it could be possible that the medical community and the retail community could implement an implantable microchip for buying and selling. So whether that happens or not in 2017, only God knows the times and the dates. I'm not setting times and dates. I don't do that. I never have. But I know we are in the season of the Lord's return. I truly believe that we are witnessing in this generation all the prophecies in Daniel and Revelation coming to pass. I believe we are that generation to finish the race. I do. And I would not say that lightly if I didn't feel that this is what God was convincing me. But let me end with this video here. Implants to aid payment with the wave of a hand. In Revelation chapter 13, it says he causes all, meaning the Antichrist, who is the head of the beast system. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in the forehead. Otherwise, you cannot buy or sell. And I'm telling you, if you do this, you have sealed your eternity apart from Christ forever and ever and ever. It is not worth your eternity to make life convenient for you in the here and now.